Depressingly, only north of 600,000 of them actually know how to speak Femboy Russian. So in total, about
Femboy
43 million NPCs speak the language, which means learning Polish will unlock you a little bit of DLC. Not much, really just one country, but it's a good one. And if you decide to learn Polish, you must first decide which variety of the language you'd like to concentrate on, as there's a huge divide between what is commonly referred to as Polska A and Polska B. Polska A, west of the European Mason-Dixon line, is home to the Femboy. In this region, they speak a soft, sweet, and downright irresistible version of the language. Then Polska B, east of the European Mason-Dixon line, is home to the Doomer. But thankfully, it doesn't really matter which of the two you learn, as these two groups can understand each other pretty much perfectly. And in 2025, most Polish NPCs speak in a relatively standardized way, especially the Gen Beta Poles. P-Land technically still has regional dialects, as you can see on this map, but they barely exist. Aside from a few exceptions, the only differences between these are the use of certain words, and that's not enough to call them dialects, so let me blast through this section real quick. There's Greater Polish, spoken by people in and around Poznan, and which has some vocab influenced by German, and it's called Greater because it's better.
That sounds accurate for the language.
Which has some vocab influenced by German, and it's called Greater because it's better than the other dialects. Then there's Lesser Polish, spoken by people in and around Krakow and Zakopane, which has some vocab influenced by Slovak, and it's called Lesser because it's less great than Greater Polish. Some people online say it sounds a bit softer, more relaxed, and more femboy-y, but I don't believe it. Because Pope John Paul II spoke this one, and he was not a femboy. Then there's Silesian, which is really a completely separate DLC language in an expansion region that's been tossed back and forth between German, Czech, and Polish control, like your mom. It's kind of controversial to call it a separate language, and Polish nationalists might not like it, but YOLO. They also have some funky letters that don't exist in regular Polish. Then there's Kashubian, which again is really not Polish. It's more like a separate, distinct language that is sadly endangered. It's the only remaining remnant of the Pomeranian language, which is really cool because these guys are really cute. And
I have one. I have a Pomeranian.
Finally, there is Mazovian Polish, spoken in and around Warsaw, and this is the basis for standard Polish, and it sounds neutral. This is what you'll choose to learn if you're not a try-hard dumbass who wants to make things unnecessarily hard for yourself for no reason. Seriously, Polish is already hard enough, which we'll get into soon, so please just learn standard Polish. No one learns Polish, bro. Seriously, you don't need to learn Silesian or speak Kashubian backwards to shock natives and make friends. But if you do want to go to Poland, or any other country for that matter, you should check out the sponsor of today's video.
Cool stuff. Okay, I'm gonna skip the writing system so you guys have a reason to watch the original video if you haven't, but I do want to check pronunciation.
Honestly, I'm sorry, I've been gaslighting you for a while. The Polish writing system is insane, but it's a little easier when you start to look at words in context. Let's take the simplest word that everyone has to say all the time. Hello. There is no way the word for hello could be difficult. Okay, don't panic, Randy. It's just or chest. Okay. What about a different random word? I'm literally just gonna use a random word generator on Google. Kurwa mać. Believe it or not, this is one syllable. I was gonna pronounce it out loud for you guys, but I said it once and my neighbors thought I was having—
Man, what is that? Zzzblo?
I was gonna pronounce it out loud for you guys, but I said it once and my neighbors thought I was having a seizure. They called an ambulance and now I'm 30K in American medical debt. So just listen to Google Translate. You might think, oh, language simp, you just picked the hard words. But no, the entire language looks like this. It's crazy. I could meme it and pick some absurdly long, uncommon word like this. And sure, that's funny and way too complicated, but I just don't have to look that far to find something that will outrage you. Pick any random word, like happiness. This is the word for happiness, for crying out loud. And somehow it's only 2 syllables.
Szczęście.
Oh, but maybe there's an easier synonym for happiness. Nope, never mind.
Uszczęśliwienie.
Written Polish looks like a Bitcoin wallet address, or your paranoid friend's Wi-Fi password. Honestly, I think I'd have an easier time pronouncing my Bitcoin wallet address than this language. I wouldn't be surprised if some dialects of Polish have numbers, exclamation points, and at signs in the middle of their words. I'm just gonna come out of the closet and say it. I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for this opinion, but I'd bet a whole Żabka hot dog that I'm not the only person who has this opinion. I think Polish would look a lot nicer and be more approachable approachable for learners if it were written in another alphabet. I understand why y'all don't want Cyrillic. Even though it would be better, y'all don't want to be associated with Bulgaria. I get it. But come on, guys, at least make your own unique character system like Mandarin, or screw it, have 3 alphabets like anime language, or better yet, just don't write. But even if you get over the Polish writing system, this language is impossible to pronounce. It sounds like a honeybee buzzing out he ass, finna pollinate that shit like zzz, bzz, 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 bzz. I probably just said something in Polish, but if you focus...
You just do bzz, and you end up saying something in Polish, do you?
Focus really hard, the mumbling sounds slowly turn into a beautiful, flowy rhythm. It's an acquired taste, so if you can get over the incredibly intimidating sounds, I promise you will enjoy listening to Polish. Music in the language is phenomenal. My favorite singer is Maryla Rodowicz, who is kind of like the older Mariah Carey of Poland, who only comes out during the Christmas season. But at least Polish vocab isn't too bad. For starters, let's look at how you say the word yes. No. The word for yes in Polish is no.
No way. No way, is this true? Polish people? Oh yeah, no, that's not confusing at all.